Hello and welcome to this Zero to Hero skipping. So I'm going to try and take you through a bit of a program to take you from a level of skipping upwards. So the starting levels are going to have a multi-jump skip, so where you have to jump multiple times each skip, maybe even stopping, single skips, and then I'm going to take you to kind of double unders, crossovers, alternating legs on your skipping as well. So first things first, when you're skipping, when you're practicing skipping and skipping, you want a flat floor, as flat as you can, and you don't really want stones knocking around. It does depend on your rope, but generally speaking, stones ruin ropes. So that's where you're at with that. For today's session, I have got basically a picnic blanket kind of thing on top of some matting to try and make it as flat as I can possibly make for myself. That's what I'm working with today. The other thing you got is your skipping rope. So if you've got a skipping rope, great. If not, and you're thinking about getting one, I'd recommend these. They're kind of very thin. The wires, it's a cable. It's a wired cable, metal cable, coated with plastic, and they're kind of stuck into just some plastic handles and then screwed up tight to kind of make the mechanism fast. They're designed for fast skipping. So these are, you can kind of get these if you go on Amazon or any kind of fitness shop. You can get these ranging between about 6 and I don't know, like 15 to 20 pound on these. What you can also get is my skipping ropes, which are currently out of action, are these. So you can get, there's multiple brands of these. These are RPM. I love these, but recently, after kind of I mean, it has been 4 or 5 years since I changed the cable on this one. It's finally snapped, but I mean, I haven't got an Allen key. I can't find my Allen key to fix it. But these ones are very good, but they retail much higher price. They're just much faster with the mechanisms. But that's RPM. But yeah, you can just get a normal one for around about 10 quid. Measuring up. So when you're measuring up a skipping rope, it does want to be a good length to your body. If you're too long, you'll just hit the floor too many times and it'll kind of bounce a lot. And if it's too short, you'll just hit your feet all the time. So under 1 foot, and it basically wants to be into the crease of your armpit. Then it depends on your kind of build after that and your technique. So what I would generally do is kind of get it to around about that level, snip a bit of the wires off, but don't go too short, because you then might want to play around with shortening it and lengthening it after that. So you know that, and make sure it's nice and tight. I'm thinking about making mine slightly shorter for this because of the matting, so to not hit the matting as much. Just tighten those up a touch and we'll see. I might change it as I go. So these are Hetty's ropes that I'm using today for this. So I'm going to show you your first step. So you're at that kind of, maybe that multi-jump skip. So it's kind of thing going on. All right. So where you are going over like so, and your multiple skipping, so you're stopping, your ropes are big, long movements through the arms. So your first fix for that is, once you do your first skip, your elbows should stay tucked in and your hands should be down. So they should be literally in front of your body. Now you'll find they might kind of come up, but you don't want them to come in up here. You definitely don't want to be a circular movement in the arms. So to practice, you can just drop the rope and just practice kind of going, just moving the wrists like so. So it gets that coordination with no rope to tangle you up, so you can never fail on that. And then you can bring the rope in and you're going to work on that like so. Now my next bit of advice would be to try and keep it relatively big on the jump. You don't want to be jumping as high as you can, but you don't want to be trying to jump too quick, okay? When you jump too quick, it's then more difficult to get the rope under, okay? So when you're skipping, if you're used to skipping, you'll probably be able to get a fast skip, but then if you wanted to take it to double unders, it'll be much more challenging. So you want to kind of keep that So you notice that I don't have to do much with my arms. The rope's basically doing the job for me. I'm just getting that jump going and I'm just putting a nice little flick in just to see it through on its way, like so. Looking at that jump, your feet want to be together. So you don't want to be out here jumping, you want to be in here kind of position. And as you jump, you are jumping up, squeezing your heels together as you jump. That'll squeeze your glutes and get that height into the jump. And think, for me, getting that kind of Maasai warrior look going. You're tall, your posture's good, and you're jumping upwards. Like so. So I'm not bending my legs back and I'm not bending my legs in. Like so. So I hit the floor with my balls of my feet, my ankles and my knees bend, and then I extend up into that jump. So that's your first approach that you're looking for. So first of all, minimal arm movement. Second, feet together and focus on that jump. Now once you've got that going, you want to look towards a bit of a slow and fast approach. So you've got good at skipping slowly. Now you want to get good at skipping a little bit quicker. So that's just a matter of putting a bit of a whip into it and not jumping as high. So you've got that good jump. And then you're going to reduce the height of the jump and get that speed. And then you need to look at kind of getting both of those patterns into one kind of routine. So you're going slow, fast, slow, fast, slow, fast. So you're getting that control and making sure you're not near any bushes whilst you're doing that. So control is a big factor here, and it's coordination of that. So it's kind of going fast and then slow and then fast and then slow, and that's going to allow you to keep control through your skipping. So when you are going fast and you feel like you're about to mess up, just slow it down. Gather it back, get some energy back, get some oxygen back, and then you can speed it up again. So from single unders, so skipping, to double unders. On your double unders, you're now going to jump once, whip twice. Jump once, whip twice. So, single under. Yep. Double under. So the rope goes round twice. Now to get this, you want to get back to that big jump, because you're suddenly having to whip twice, so you need a big jump. Once you've got that big jump and it's balanced and everything's right, then you can forget about the jump. Get it out your head, because you've got that jump going, and it's all about the hands. So you think about. So in my head, when I'm doing double unders, a lot of the time, I'll just go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm just counting my wrist movement. It means in WODs I struggle counting my actual skips for double unders when I'm doing CrossFit workouts, but it does mean I've got that rhythm. So I get my skip going, and I'm big on that jump. So I'm easily got enough time to get that rope under twice. And I'm in there like that. Now, I always take this back to a couple of years ago when we were teaching this. Me and a friend of mine, a coach at the time, we just came up with the idea of either getting some handles or getting some pens, and just going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then taking that and basically jumping with it. So just as we did with the skipping at the start, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So every time you jump, double flick your hands, double flick your hands, double flick your hands, double flick your hands. Okay, so you're getting that coordination again without the rope ever getting in the way. Now, it becomes more of a thing now that when you are skipping and doing double unders, those elbows definitely have to stay tucked in. You definitely want to keep those wrists down and hands in front. Otherwise, it's going to get harder, because right at the bottom of that jump is where you're doing that last double under. If your hands are suddenly up here, that rope's going to catch you. So we start with that slow jump. We then get that 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm not saying you're going to get this straight away. You're probably going to have to work with this a bit, and you might get some whips along the way. Big jumps. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then, the same as with your skipping, you can look at increasing the speed. Once you've got the control of the big jump, slow double unders, you can then look at the speed of the jump increasing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Like so. Obviously, the quicker you go, the chances of you messing up are greater. So I'm just going to give you a bit of a side on look at that, what we're looking at. Right, so, and then again, once you've got slow double unders, then quick double unders, you want to look at kind of matching paces and changing your pace throughout. So again, you can go for a longer period of time. Again, if you were looking at doing kind of 5 minutes of double unders, you probably go slow and just keep going. And then if you're once feeling confident, you tend to want to speed up a little bit, but that control is always one of the key things. Next thing we'll look at is that kind of crossover and the kind of alternating feet. So you've got your feet together and you've got your skipping and your double unders going. Now we can look at that kind of alternating feet. And for some this might be easier, and you're kicking those feet out. You can look at skipping like so, alternating and staying on one leg for a bit. And that's mainly just a thing of picking one leg up and just those single skips. It's a little bit quicker. Then you look at those crossovers. On the crossover, you'll skip one normal and then you'll cross your hands. So skip, I'm skipping, crossing over. And it's a big crossover. You want to get those hands in there. So it's about here, crossover. So as those arms coming down, we are crossing over. Like so. Again, you'll be able to speed that up and you'll be able to kind of mix in quite a few different things. Last two things I'm going to look at. Triple unders. Now these are a bit just like fun. These are just kind of if you wanted to go that extra bit further, there's quadruple unders as well. You can take it and take it. And then I'm going to try and show you bum skipping, although it might not work on you. Might just brush some stones around. So your final point for today is that triple. So you got the double, you're going single, you got that big high jump, double, big high jump, and then you're just going to try and whip it round as quick as possible and see if you can get that triple. Not even sure I'll be able to do it today, if I'm being honest. Right, so I've got that big high jumps, and then my doubles, and then my triple. You're going to whip yourself a couple of times on those. That's pretty much getting to the advanced point when you're good at all the rest. And then I'm going to have a quick go at bum skipping just because I want to. I want to see if I can still do it. I'm not even sure if I've got the room around here. There is a lot of pebbles. and I'm not sure if the mats will work. The idea about bum skipping, it's a bit of an abdominal movement. You're going to try and lift your bum up off the floor. You got a bit of a jump like so. So you got to kind of kick through your legs to get your bum up. Again, I'm not even sure this is going to work. Wait. Let's give it a go. Bush is in the way for definite on this one. Tucker's in the way as well. Tucker's not having it. Bum skips will have to come on a separate video. It can be a different challenge. So let's run back and recap. We have got taking it from those multiple jumps, and we're going to go feet together, stand tall, and we're looking at a big jump. So the more height you can get in your jump, the longer that rope's got to go round, and you're going straight off. So you can think about that landing with a high jump as well. As you jump, you're looking at squeezing the heels, getting that bum squeeze and staying tall. So we're trying to get that. So if you want to beforehand, take the rope out of the equation and just practice the jumps like so. We have then got your double unders. So once you're the speed, so we work on that speed, and then we've got the double unders. We get back to that high jump and we're whipping it twice underneath. If there's any questions at any point, obviously this was a quick fire thing and I can't get everything in there. Any other questions, please do relate back to me when you're working through this little program of things. There's many other ways you can work on this. If you do find that your feet do tend to separate on their own, you can kind of strap them together. I've done that. I've strapped a strap around my elbows to keep my elbows in before. I've done that to kind of work on those. So there is kind of the more brutal kind of techniques to do this, so kind of the strict ways. But for me, it's about getting those feet together, staying tall, staying calm, and getting that big long jump going first, and then progressing from that. In my theory, you should always learn something slow to make sure you know what you're doing, so you've learnt it, than fast. I always put it down to this. When I played cricket, I was a bowler to begin with, but I needed to be able to bat as well, luckily so, because later on I got injured and I couldn't bowl anymore. But my batting was basically this. Rather than getting my eye in and kind of working on my performance and my technique, I just went for the big hit technology until I felt confident enough and kept going, and it worked less than I got out like first few balls. And it's the same thing, because I used to just go in and everything was big. I wanted to go big and fast. There was very little going on. I didn't really learn a lot of the strokes properly, which meant I got out quick a lot. Same with skipping and many other things. If you just go for it fast, you might be good and you might get a lot of skips out, but you're probably not going to get better or take it to the next step, and probably a lot of the times you're going to fail more and get it wrong more than you'll get it right. So learn it slow, then learn the speed. Speed comes secondary when you're good at something. So that's just a bit of a learning tip for you. Learn it slow, get that big jump, then go fast. I hope this has been of help, and again, any questions, please do ask. I can do little snippet bits that go into a bit more detail, especially on the double unders things, but a quick zero to hero skipping for you there.